Hello friends, my name is Michael Gutierrez. I'm an electrical engineer in 350. Let's get started. So, I'm going to go ahead and begin by explaining this problem very briefly, how I will do it on the test. You're going to need to be prepared with this table from the lab, and you're also going to need an understanding of how store ward and load ward work. We'll be doing A of question number 5, and let's get into it. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and comment on what I do. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and split our machine into the 5 sections which it's separated into. Next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just as a support, I'm gonna go ahead and write, this right here is the store ward that's right there is messed up on the practice test, so I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, so next what I would do on the test is writing them in the correct location. So we need to go to cycle 6. So what I would do is, there is 5 sections to this machine. So our spectrum of work lies between the 6th cycle and the 2nd cycle. This section has already been done, so that add is not necessary, and this 7 has not happened yet, therefore we don't need it. So all we're going to be working with is that. So our latest addition to the machine is store ward S3 8 register T2. Now I wouldn't write this down, but just for clarity I'm writing it down right now. Just if you're not following me, it's going on here because the latest addition. Next, what I'm going to do is put instruction 5 onto the 2nd location. And then next, what I'm going to do is do the next one. Now, this is just reminding me where I need to go. Now, I wouldn't write this one on there because there's no question marks which we're going to be solving for on the test. So since this section's not included, then I wouldn't write it on there. But it's your decision, whatever. Later you can pick. Next, let's do T5 is equal to T4 plus S4. And next, finally, the last is bad writing, but that doesn't matter. Once we start solving it, I'll go ahead and clarify that. So let's do this section number 2 of the machine. So we need to understand that load ward is split something similar to this. So this right here is RS, and this right here is RT. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down. T1 is RS, and this T0 is RT. And we know that this right here is RS, and this is RT. So first question mark is T1. Second question mark is T0. Now, what is this third question mark? You may be wondering. Well, that is going to be our immediate address. I know it's a little blurred, but it's 20 to 16 there. And if we look at our Mips green sheet, we realize that the immediate is between 0 and 15, meaning that our immediate's going to be going through here. So I was incorrect. This question mark would not be our immediate. In fact, it would have RT. So that is exactly what we want. We want RT right there so that we can store load word. Remember here, load word goes to the left. So we're going to be storing the value in the memory on register T1 onto RT. So that is perfect. So question mark is RT. Perfect. Let's move on. This next question mark is going to be, of course, still RS, so T1. And so what's going to go in this question mark? You may be wondering. Well, let's leave this question mark till later because this doesn't have to do with the section that we're dealing with, considering the fact that if you follow the line, it's coming all the way from over here. So it doesn't concern us quite yet. So let's leave that there. Let's move on. Number 3. So here we have an addition, and of course what we need here is the ALU to make an addition. So in this question mark right here, what are we going to need? Well, if we refer back to up here, the ALU op is going to be 0010. So perfect. 0010. It should be noted that Dr. Sprinton did say that this table would be provided on the test, so no worries there. This, and therefore we will need to consider it once we get to this. So once we get to, I apologize, once we get to section 4, which we haven't yet. So same with this. This goes all the way out here, and even wraps around to the other question mark that we were just talking about. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is those that are moving, these question marks that are moving on to the next sections, don't worry about those whenever you get to them immediately. And then let's move on to section 4. All right, so now we have to do the addition between T4 and S4. And well, an addition doesn't really have to store anything in memory. So with that being said, once the math is done, it's going to go around this way, and it's not going to even touch the memory. Therefore, anything that goes in the memory is going to be 0. So that's 0, and that's the only question mark that we have to deal with there. All right, awesome. So now we are finally at the addition. A1 T4 plus T4. I apologize for the miswriting. It's A1. So we need to write to A1, and this is probably the most difficult step because finally we have to deal with a lot of the question marks. With that being said, let's figure this out. So what is this mux going to be carrying back to register? This question mark? A1. I apologize. Actually, it's supposed to be T4 plus T4. Next. So what do we want in this question mark? Well, of course, we want the math to go through, not the memory. So we want 0 there. So this question mark is 0. Now, let's follow this wire, since we already did earlier and we realized that there was a question mark there. So write to register, it's going to need to be 1 because we want to write to A1. So this is high. Okay, cool. So that is almost everything. Do not forget about this fellow here, which was on step 4 and I skipped, and I apologize about that. We want to make sure that this is low because we're not branching in this step. And then on here, what do we need? Well, this question mark is actually the same as this question mark, just in a different location. so it's high. Okay, awesome. So that was the mess, and that's how I would do it on the test. Dr. Princeton, good luck grading my test.